Hi guys, today I'm going to make a video about how to make your own alcohol ink. Now, why am I doing this? Well, it's because the other day I went to the store and I found that Tim Holtz alcohol inks are quite pricey. Then again, he has amazing stuff. Everything that he has is incredible. And I talked to you about distress ink. I haven't shown you a video on how to use it or whatever, but I will. But it came up to my idea because I've seen a lot of people on YouTube using alcohol inks, especially from Tim Holtz, and they do so much amazing tags and journals and this and that, and you name it. There's a lot of things you can do with this alcohol inks when you talk about art. So not only Tim Holtz, there's another lady from Ranger, which I can't remember her name right now. It's very good at using this alcohol inks. So, I saw some videos here, some videos there, and people use this or either dyes, those things to dye your clothing. It's like a powder and alcohol, or they use Sharpies, like this one. It will use a Sharpie, and then they will take out the ink from the Sharpie, if you have color Sharpies, and then pour it in a container and put the alcohol. Now, I'm going to do a little experiment today, and hopefully this will work. I thought, because I have done in the past use the McCormick assorted inks for food. It's like a food dye. I said, why not use this and try to make my own ink and see what happens. Now you may ask, okay, what do you use your dye for? Your food dye before with? Well, for those that don't know, I'm a makeup artist, and especially I do special effects things. So not things, special effects makeup. And what happens is that sometimes you're gonna, like I said, these things are pricey, and in the makeup world, trust me, things are pricey too. So you gotta come up with ideas. And I went to school and makeup school, and I went to a course for special effects. And when you do special effects, you need blood most of the times. So you create blood with this, and if you can see, this bottle here is homemade blood, and it's made with this. But it's a different process, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'll probably talk it on my makeup channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it. It's really cool. You can find the link in the main homepage of this channel. So if I can do that with blood, I think I can get away with making alcohol ink. Now, you might say, well, I think it's not going to be a cool idea because you're going to have a lot of bugs all over it. Well, I do have an idea, and I'm going to show you next. So let's get started. So you're going to need a little crystal container, because those dyes are going to stain anything you have. If you use plastic, it's going to stain it. So my best recommendation, if you have something made out of glass, that's your best choice. You're going to need your food dye. I chose to have this one because this is the one I have at home. This is all homemade. I haven't bought anything. I just came up with the idea. You're going to need one of these. And then you're going to need a rubbing alcohol. So if you are lucky, like I am at home, and you find a container, because let me explain something. Tim Holtz, his inks, I don't have one to show you, but his inks come in a bottle like this, exactly like the Stickles. The only thing is ink. That's the only difference. So they have a tip, the same thing. They have a tip on the top. You put the ink wherever you want to, and boom, you're working with it. So I said, okay, well, where am I gonna get bottles like that? So all of a sudden, I said, oh, I got a few medicines that they're being home for a long time, and I haven't just get rid of them. And let me see, this was something for my eyes. For a long, I remember I had something going on with my eyes, and I had this little bottle, and I just tossed away the liquid in it, the rest that it had, because this expired. If you see, it expired on 2011, so it's not good anymore. So I emptied the bottle. This medicine bottles are all the same. It's just you gotta pull the tip out, and it will just, you know, work as a little bottle for the inks. So okay, let's start working. So with my little crystal glass, I'm gonna pour a little bit of that alcohol in it. I'm just gonna make a little bit, just to see if it works, because this is an experiment. I haven't seen anyone on YouTube doing this. We're gonna make the color, I think, let's do color yellow, because it's lighter and you can see it. So see, this comes like this. So they're very translucent. That's why I thought it was a good idea. So I'm gonna put in like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 drops. See what happens. I'm gonna get a little mixer here. I'm gonna use a toothpick to mix this. As you can see, it comes out a very translucent yellow. So it looks like it's working. So to try this out in paper, obviously, or metal, which is usually what these inks they're used for, we're gonna put this aside. And I have a little tag here. Okay, usually what they do, or if you have a mat like this, which is a Ranger mat that you can pour ink in it and nothing is gonna happen, then try it. If you don't, just get some paper or carton, wherever you can work, so you don't stain your table. So then you grab a little bit of that ink with this, and we're gonna put a few drops. I don't have the tool to do that, but I'm just experimenting right now, and I want to see if it works. So I'm gonna drop 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 drops there. I'm gonna grab my tag, and all I'm gonna, oh, see, it already stained a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna put it here and play with it. See what happens. There we go. You got a little bit of stain. I'm gonna try now. I'm gonna put this aside. Usually these inks also are good for metal. So I have this washer here. I'm gonna do the same thing. The difference is I'm gonna get a little dabber, which this is basically the material right now that you use with your Ranger tool or Tim Holtz ink tools that they put on the bottom. I don't have one either to show you, but this is the things that I use with my distress inks. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to put more drops in there. I'm going to dab this in there with the thicket side. It stained my thing. And I'm going to just dab it on the washer and see what happens. Well, it's grabbing a little bit. I don't see if you can see it. I doubt it that you can see, because it's a very light color. So not working too much. So we're going to pour in some of that ink in the little bottle, if I can open it. There we go. We're going to pour in a little bit of that ink in here. Probably all of it. Then again, we're using alcohol and food dye. The food dye is the little concern I have. That's it. I'm gonna put a little bit more in there. Yeah. I'm gonna put this here. Oops. And this is gonna stain like crazy. I'm gonna close it. And since if you have people at home and they don't get confused if that's a medicine or not, I think the best thing to do is to cover the bottle. I have here black tape. This is electrical tape. And all you're going to do is just cover your bottle with black tape. And then if you want to, you can label it. I'm not going to label it because that's time consuming right now, but I will. Just put a little tape around the bottle. It's covered. Nobody knows it's a medicine. It's just an ink. It's going to be in my desk of art and nobody going to notice. So let's try it with the bottle and see what happens. Okay, in metal doesn't work very well. So let's try 1, 2 drops, and it worked with the bottle. See, it makes the effect of the being by drops. So I'm gonna stain this again a little bit. And there you go. Get stained. It will be interesting if we can do a different color. Let me go really quick. So we're gonna use with water. Let's try a little bit more of alcohol. And let's try a few drops of the color red. There's a color red. Oh no, let's try blue because blue is darker. So let's try blue. So 1, 2, 3 drops. The only thing with food dye is that they stain really bad. So, you know, if you're working with ink, you know you're gonna be stained all over the place. So let's mix it with, if you have any little mixer. I'm using a toothpick again to mix this. And we're gonna just do some drops of blue in my mat and see what happens. There. I'm gonna stain that little card or that little tag and see what happens. There we go. You see? You can create so many things. But let me see if I put a little bit of blue here. The dabber thing. Let's see. There's another technique that they do this on the Tim Holtz tool. They just put drops on it, like different colors. And then they kind of sponge it or dab it on the paper. So they put like little drops of different colors, and all they do is this. This is a technique, and it works. It does work. Okay. One more. Just go back. Put a little bit of that ink. A few drops, whatever color you have, and then a few drops of yellow in my case, and dab it again. And you know by the wheel of color that if you mix yellow and blue, you will have green. Okay, the experiment kind of worked a little bit, so I'm gonna try to do something else, which I've seen what they do. Since this is a little bit dry already, I'm just gonna spray some water over the tag. Okay, this is another technique they do. And once you get your water there, all you're gonna do is use some drops of that ink in the card. They use different type of paper though. This is just a regular tag, so of course the this type of paper is gonna just absorb all this ink. And really, what I should be using is ink paper, which I don't have right now. But since I'm experimenting, that's all I'm doing. I just wanted to show you the effect. That's my whole goal here. Well, that's my whole goal. Let's put a little bit more of that ink in the back part. Okay. So it gives me more effect in the front and on the back. And then we're going to pour a little bit of that yellow again. Let's see what happens. Yellow. More yellow. Then I'm going to remove this from the side, clean my workplace or my workspace. And let me see, let me try to finish all that color that is in there, just to make this nice tag. It still needs a little bit more, like on the side there. I'm just picking up all that color that is left. There we go. I'm gonna clean my mat. Okay, so as you can see the effect on the tag. Then again, this is not ink paper, this is just regular paper this is just a little tag. So like I said, it will absorb the ink completely. It's still a little bit wet, but it's gonna cure. Now, I did mention that my concern was that this is food ink. So obviously the ingredients of this are, you know, water, propyl glycol, and yellow and blue and this and that, preservatives. But if you are really concerned about it, I mean, once you finish your tag or whatever and you do whatever you're gonna do with it, paint, stamp, whatever, my only thing that I can think of that it will gonna help avoid having bugs or anything of that nature is to seal it, or either with something like this, which is a Dresden clear glaze. Just spray it, done. It's coated. There's no bug on earth that will go through your tag. That's all, folks. So thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. If you think this is a good idea or not, just comment and I'll, you know, follow. If you got any other ideas on how to make ink, just let me know. You can always post a respond video. And thanks again for watching, guys. Goodbye.